How long have you lived in Chicago for?
I was born in Chicago, so I've actually I've been here like my whole life. I was trying to think, like, the hospital that I was born at was just not that far from here, like maybe like a mile away from here.
Do you ever think about that when you like
Yeah.
walk past it? You're like, oh, I was born here.
Yeah.
That's something
I think
most
about
people don't
that.
experience.
Yeah, I think about that a lot. I know that now in Chicago, there's a lot of folks moving here from other states, countries. But you know, I've been here my whole life.
What neighborhoods have you lived in?
I've lived in Uptown. I've lived in West Ridge. I've lived in Rogers Park. I've lived in Albany Park. I've lived in Pilsen. I've lived in some suburbs too. I lived in Morton Grove, Lincolnwood. Where else have I lived in? I lived in Lisle for a little bit. It's just like all over.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, but you're here in Uptown now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And most of your life is spent here in Uptown?
Yeah, I would say for the most part. There was
Yeah.
a gap, maybe during high school and the beginning of college, where
Okay.
I wasn't here that often. Yeah.
But now a lot of the things you do is centered around Uptown.
Everything, almost everything is centered around this area. And my life has completely like shifted and changed. It's crazy because growing up, I didn't think that I was going to be doing anything that I'm doing here. I actually was just trying to get away from here for a while. Yeah, especially like after high school, I was like, you know what? I don't really care for this area anymore, and I don't need to be here. You know, it like growing up here, it just felt like I loved it because it felt very familiar. It felt like home. But at the same time, it also it wasn't super safe. So it also felt like, oh, I need to get out of the hood. Like it was that feeling.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of like a love. I didn't hate it. It was just more like love and not kind of wanting to be here for a while. Yeah.
So what brought you back?
What brought me back was my dad. So my father opened up the pharmacy here, which is what I co-own now, right? And that it's the first Vietnamese business on Argyle Street. And this area is predominantly it's a Southeast Asian neighborhood, but predominantly Vietnamese, right? Or Vietnamese refugees, Vietnamese Chinese refugees. And my dad was actually thinking about selling the pharmacy, and he actually sat me down one day and told me that he might sell it to CVS, right? And when he told me, I just, felt like I wasn't sure how I was gonna. I wasn't sure how I felt at the time because I was just like, okay, yeah, go do that. But when I really sat with my feelings, I realized that, this area meant so much more to me than anything, and the pharmacy meant way more to me than anything. And I started really taking a look at, the importance of what the pharmacy meant to this community and how it was such a staple in the neighborhood. It was like right smack in the middle of Argyle Street. It's in the heart. And it wasn't just a pharmacy when my dad had opened it up. It was a mini mall, right? So it was a video rental store. You can get your film developed there. My mom had her jewelry store in there.
Wow.
You can get, clothes, perfume. I mean, it was kind of like an everything store. And so, you can meet a lot of people in there. So it was very like, normal to like walk in and have like loud music playing, people singing karaoke. Because like my dad would sell like laser discs. Like they're like these big, they look like ginormous DVDs.
Wow.
Do you know what a laser disc is?
I don't know if I've seen one.
It looks like a really big CD. And
what do you put them in? What?
Like it looks like a big like DVD player. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
It's like a karaoke system. They used to sell that, and so there was always music and just random people walking in and out for different things, and people would come and get their medicine, right? But then they'd be like, oh, I want to buy this. I want to buy some jewelry. I want to buy this ring, and oh, I want to buy this perfume, and oh, I need some skincare. So, so when my dad told me that he was thinking about selling it, all those memories started to come back up again, and I didn't even remember any of those until then. and I remember getting so emotional about it. And so him and I had a whole conversation about like how we can keep it and why it's important, and, you know, what I would want to do personally if, you know, I were to take it over. So then we had that conversation, and then kind of like from there, that kind of like sparked all like everything I do here.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you can tell that's like a microcosm of the community. What and how it, like, just that one store can impact the community and the people that interact with it and step foot inside the store and walk around and experience. What, with that experience, reflecting on it, what do you love most about the neighborhood of Uptown, and especially Asia and Argyle?
What do I love most about the neighborhood on Argyle? The community.
Yeah.
That's what I love most about it. It's like more than just like the good food. It's more than just like the cool shops. It's literally like the people that are behind it. That's so beautiful. And so my parents, they're Vietnamese refugees, right? And so they had to leave their country and everything that they built because of the war. And after the fall of Saigon in 1975, April 30th, which is tomorrow, their whole lives changed, and they ended up like coming to America, right? And when they came here, they didn't know, they didn't know where life would take them. Like it's not like they even had a choice. It was like they had to leave and just start over and not know where to go and not know if they were going to end up with their family ever again. And so when I think about that, I there's this like deep sadness, but it's also this like care, so much more like care and love I have for this community because they all felt that. Yeah. Most of the people that like had businesses on the street, not just the people that had the businesses, but the people that lived here, the people that created this area, the people that make up this area, right? Yeah. It's like immigrants, refugees, and them coming together and to create kind of like a sanctuary within a place that is unknown to them, and to create something so beautiful and really care about one another, right? So it wasn't like you open up a store and it's like, oh, I'm going to make more money than you and you. It wasn't any of that. It was like, let me take care of you. Let me see how I can be of help and service to you. So my dad, like, it was, I would see him go to all the businesses every day. Like he would go, to the pho restaurant, like next door. Then he would go across the street and grab like some drinks. Then he would go over to like his other friend's shop and, hang out over there, but like also spend his money. So it was like the community was just like helping each other out. And within that, there was like so much friendship and so much like love. And there was a lot of like, it felt like a big family in a way, So
would you say a lot of that has rubbed off on you?
For sure. Yeah. The fact that like I had that experience growing up, and seeing how things have changed so much here on Argyle Street, I just feel like it still exists. It's just not as strong and not as, I guess, like it's not as like wide. I don't know if I'm using the right word for this.
What do you mean by wide?
Like it's like, not, because things have changed so much, and a lot of the businesses weren't able to survive, and like we've lost a lot of businesses, especially during the pandemic, and there's not as many like people hanging out outside like how it was when I was growing up. And so when I say it's not like how it was anymore. And there's different folks coming in, moving in, and so the area has changed a lot, but we still have that community here.